Hi everybody, welcome to PLAYERUNKNOWN'S Backgrounds, welcome to the training mode, welcome to the PlayStation 4. And in today's video I wanted to talk about and kind of get you thinking about something I call your sound bubble. And the sound bubble is the noise you make and how far it extends all around you as you move around the map. And the sound bubble is the thing that gives you away to other players as well, so they can then react. They go, ooh, somebody's coming. And there's different things you can do to control your sound bubble. Some things you can't. But if you are aware of your sound bubble and how big it is, you can very much change your tactics to make sure it doesn't become things become less of a risk. So, for example, we're in a vehicle at the moment. I think this is called the Ronnie, isn't it? And we're moving along, just driving nicely. And obviously I've got quite a big sound bubble. People will be able to hear me from a few hundred meters all around me. People know, right, there's a vehicle going that way. If I boost, then that's much louder and people can hear me from further away. So if when you're driving a vehicle and you want to reduce your sound bubble so people can't hear you from further away, don't boost and don't go at full throttle. Just let the throttle off a bit. You know, if there's no rush, why go really fast? You know, just trundle along. And then when you're approaching a compound, obviously you don't want people to hear you, so all you do as you're approaching a compound, let your finger off the throttle and just coast in, and then people might not know what's happening. Right, let's get out. Now, when we're moving around the map, our footsteps make an awful lot of noise as well. So again, we're still creating quite a sizable sound bubble. And it's all related to how fast you are moving. So, if you are sprinting along like this, you'll have quite a large sound bubble. Now, you can watch lots of Wacky Jackie's videos on YouTube. He does some excellent work about telling you the exact distance for things like the sound bubble when you're running. But just imagine when you're running like this, when you're sprinting like this, people could probably hear you up to, as long as they're not moving, you know, and they've got their volume turned off, probably about 50 meters away. You know, so quite a long way, so you can hear people if you've got your headphones turned up. They have to be completely silent. There's got to be nothing else happening. And then as you get closer, they'll hear you that way. So if you want to be quieter as you're moving around the map, so you're not alerting people to your presence so they can't ambush you, first thing is don't sprint unless you really need to. Move around along normally, kind of like that, and that is much quieter. People will still hear you, but probably sort of 20 meters away. If you want to go really quiet, crouch walk like this. This is super quiet. If you start crouch sprinting, that's loud again. But if you just crouch walk, this is really quiet. Then if you want to get even quieter, you know, you can just move your stick a little bit. And we're virtually silent now. Virtually silent. Now if you want to move silently, one trick you can do, you can just, say you're inside a building and somebody is on the other side of the wall of that building and you don't want them to know you're there. If you just jog your joystick like this, you can actually slowly move without making any sound at all. Now, funnily enough, crawling makes quite a lot of noise. I guess your whole body is dragging itself through the dirt. So actually, it's actually quieter to move like this, crouch walking. So the way that this translates into tactics is, let's say you're running towards the circle and you're coming towards the new circle, you know, the safe zone, but you're sprinting because you're trying, you know, maybe you're in the blue, you're trying to get ahead of the blue. You know, as you approach the edge of the circle or buildings or anything where you suspect people might be, stop sprinting, crouch down and move quietly like this, and your sound bubble will shrink. Probably it's round about 5 to 10 meters at this point. It's not very far at all. And especially as lots of people when they're in PUBG, although me and you know, we wear headphones and we have the volume turned up. Lots of people don't. They might be listening to music. They might not even have. They might be playing PUBG on their televisions, and so you know they won't hear you coming. So that's kind of moving around the map on vehicles and on foot. Now weapons, weapons. As soon as you fire your gun, your sound bubble is huge. People can hear you firing your gun from hundreds of meters away. So be very aware, especially on maps like Sanhok that are very small, that as soon as you've let rip, everybody within a couple of hundred meters will go, oh, there's somebody firing over there, and maybe you need to move towards the circle, and they're there, they'll go, oh, somebody's coming this way. Let me lie in this bush and then ambush them as they come along. Or let me investigate over here. So just be very aware of that. As soon as you fired your gun, you put a big arrow on the map saying, I'm here, and people will be looking at their compasses, they'll be looking at their maps going, right, there's somebody there. And people can recognise gun types as well. They'll know like it's an AK. Now, sniper rifles especially make a lot of noise. But you may say, well, Rob, that one was pretty quiet. It was. This is a suppressor. So a really good way of controlling your sound bubble for guns is using a suppressor. Now, the suppressors are still loud. They're not silent. And so people can still think, all right, there's somewhere over there, there's somebody with an M24 or a Kar 98 or an M16 or something with a suppressor. But it muffles the sound and confuses the sound, so it could be coming from a multiple of different locations. So if you can, put a suppressor on your gun to control your sound bubble. So there we go. Hopefully this video helps. Hopes it gets you thinking about the sound bubble you create and how you can minimize it so you can be stealthy, and at least in terms of the sound you make, silent and invisible to other players. Anyway, that's enough from me. Put any questions you've comments you've got about the sound bubble down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. Thank you very much, and I will see you again soon.